Hey, welcome. Today we welcome to our show, and today we have a very exciting topic. We are looking at the legal register, how to make a legal register. Before I introduce our guest today, just to highlight a bit about the topic, safety is law. It's a requirement by law that you need to comply with all the safety requirements. Now, the challenge is that these legal requirements are actually found in various laws, and identifying these requirements and putting them in a list so that you're able to comply with all of them can be a challenge. And this is where the legal register comes into play. It makes things easy, it makes compliance easy. And to discuss this topic, we have invited a SHEQ consultant, safety, health, environment, and quality consultant. This is Wellingtone Ngosa. He has many years of experience in the field. He has helped many companies to implement the ISO standards across industries. He has worked in various industries, including the manufacturing, the processing, aquaculture, just to mention a few. He's well vested with the topic and is here to help us. Join us even as we continue with the discussion. If you have any questions, you can type your question in the comment section and we'll be able to respond. Mr. Ngosa, welcome to the interview.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kunda. And I would say I'm very excited to be part and parcel of this journey. And today is an important day also for me. Just turned 44.
Congratulations.
I've added another 1 year to my shoulders. Okay.
Congratulations. And to just get started, safety has so many components. There's risk assessment, there's inspection, procedures, training. Which part of safety is your favorite and why?
Actually, I would say when I look at the three cornerstones of operational health and safety, and the first cornerstone, which is the legal requirement, from my side, I think I'll put it as my favorite section, because this gives me an opportunity to review existing rules and regulations in the particular sector of an industry, or in a particular country where we are operating. Even when you're doing business, first thing that we require to know is what are the legal requirements pertaining to this business that I'm venturing into. So legal requirements is one of my best and favorite. Then when you go to the next cornerstone, which is the risk assessment methodology of identifying hazards and risk associated with those hazards, and then control measures on how we are going to exist with those hazards and risks. That is my second. And then when you look at the last one is the management system. How are you going to ensure that this is implemented, sustained, and also continuously improved within an organization? So those are the three cornerstones of operational health and safety. And in that order, that is how I like
Interesting. Legal requirements, risk assessment, and management systems. Wow, that's a very, very interesting. And probably to just get started, what is a legal register? When we say legal register, what do we mean? Because for most people, when they hear register, what comes to mind is a school register or an accident register. So what's a legal register?
Okay, yeah, and in this field again, when a young or an upcoming operational health and safety practitioner, when they hear legal, the first thing that comes into their mind is maybe something to do with the lawyers sitting down, the judges sitting down, and like that. I know. Coming to the question, a legal register is simply a comprehensive storage checklist to say that data or information on how you are going to document and also organize relevant legal I would say, relevant acts, regulations, guides, safety guides into one document, and then help you to check whether you are compliant to in the business that you are operating in the area or the sector that you are operating in, and or if you have not complied to. And also it tells you when to comply.
Oh, interesting. Is it the same as the safety file?
So when we say a safety file, legal register is one of the documents in your safety file.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. And someone might now be interested to know, for an environment like Zambia, what are some of the key safety laws?
So Zambia is not also spared, just like any other countries. We have a number, but I'll give just examples, especially those the key ones. We have what we call Mines and Mineral Development Act, number 11 of 2015. We have Occupational Health and Safety Act, number 36 of 2010. Then we also have Environmental Management Act, Act number 11, if I'm not mistaken, number 11 of 20, Act number 12 of 2011. Then we also have Factories Act, CAP 441 of the laws of Zambia. Then we have guidelines of mining regulations of 1973. We also have explosive acts and also explosive acts and the regulations of 1974. Then we also have other more regulations, Inquest Acts. We have Workers' Compensations Act. We have Public Health Act, and
I believe even a Road Transport and Safety
Act is also there. Then we also have issues to do with marine and water. Then we have a list of regulations. So for the sake of this particular introductory part, we'll restrict ourselves to those, and then we'll continuously review the regulations that are more specific to industry and the other. So for now, we'll restrict ourselves to Occupational Health and Safety Act, mining, those who are in mining, Factories Act, because they have captured a number of them into what we can now streamline to legal requirement.
Someone might ask, if we already have these acts, why should I have the legal register? What's the benefit?
So I'll give an example. If you're in food industry, there are certain, yes, the act is a general document, right, passed by the Act of Parliament. And when it comes to, in terms of compliance, there are specific clauses that you are supposed to. I'll give an example. If we go into the Occupational Health and Safety Act, there's a clause that tells you to have a policy, Occupational Health and Safety policy. So if I am reviewing and look at what is applicable to my industry or the area of operation, I need to go into that and then extract the requirements that I'm supposed to comply to. If I'm supposed to have a legal appoint the SHEQ committee, which acts supporting me, so I will extract that and put into my register. When should I do that? Occupational Health and Safety policy. I need to extract and look at the exact requirements.
So this legal register, is it a document? Is it a book? What describe for her?
So others, they think it's just to have, okay, I'm going to put these are the acts and regulations. But I think you need to simplify it further. Make it maybe either in a Word, PDF, or Excel sheet where you outline. I'll give an example. There are certain areas that you're supposed to comply to. Environmental returns, monitoring and returns. It's a requirement by ZEMA. I'll identify ZEMA. I'll come up with that Excel sheet. And when am I supposed to send? So I need to simplify it further so that even the commoner within an organization, they are able to explain. If, for example, I'm in company X and I'm a compliance officer, or I'll say a safety manager, I need to streamline it to a situation where even people from accounts, procurement, operations, they're able to understand when we say we are supposed to comply to this, because I need to streamline and they explain more on why we need them, because these acts they have explained, and then we should look at the other the regulations that helping to detail the requirement in the act. They are so straightforward. But giving somebody just this is an act, read it, to be very difficult to understand. So once you do the extraction and then put
the clauses that apply
that
to your
apply to your
organization
organization,
or to your project,
and that is what a legal register
does.
Yes.
Okay. And someone might want to do, so who needs this legal register? Who benefits from it?
Okay, if you look at what benefits we benefit from it, the first thing that you need to understand is it helps to streamline the compliance efforts by an organization. So if you have documented properly, you will be able to see in a quarter, track how compliable you are with the legal requirement. You can even put it as one of your key performance indicators to check your performance as an individual who is running operational health and safety. You can also put it as an organization as a key performance indicator. It will help you to streamline in terms of compliance efforts. It also helps you to reduce the risk of not complying to those, because time to time you'll be keeping it on updating and making it live, and everyone will be seeing. Of late, you can even put it in your Google Calendar.
Yeah.
To put up, so it pops out, and you know that you're supposed to do this. So you make it live because you know that this is a legal document.
And from what you're explaining, it also shows that even the employer himself, it's easier. They're able to see from the snapshot that we need to comply with this. And it makes even work easier for a safety officer to convince or persuade the management to implement certain programs.
Exactly. And actually, to add on that, even investors who want to be the investors, most of the investors, they are very critical. They look at what are the laws required when they put in the money. And then when they see in terms of the level of compliance, an investor will be very comfortable. It's okay, this is a viable business and I'm dealing with serious people. But others, they neglect it, and then when an investor comes, that's when they start asking, "Oh, have we complied to this? Have we complied to that? Where can we take this?" So that also shows that you are not organized.
Especially when you want to participate in a tender, you want to bid for a tender.
Exactly.
You find that you don't know which laws and which regulations apply to your project.
Sometimes it shows how serious this is an organization. I'll give an example. Even in terms of governance, the occupational health and safety management system in an organization, it becomes easier because legal requirement it shows the guidance on what you're supposed to comply.
Yeah. And for those who have just joined us, we are looking at the legal register, which our guest has explained that it lists down all the relevant regulations and laws that apply to your project or your organization. Now, coming to who should prepare this legal register? You mentioned when we hear the word legal, we are thinking of a lawyer. Is it a lawyer who should prepare? Is it an employer? Is it a safety officer? Or is it an employee? Who should prepare this legal register?
Funny enough, I'll still refer you to the legal requirements or the legal register itself. So when you review the existing laws, it will guide you in terms of who should participate. So under the Occupational Health and Safety Act, there's a requirement of formation of the Occupational Health and Safety Committee. So this is a composition where the representative of the employer, it is the representative of employees and other employees nominated and appointed by the management to run the affairs of occupational health and safety. So that team, together with the legal department and other key management staff, sitting down and review the existing laws and see which one are applicable to the operations, area of operations. So it is a team. And most of the time, it should be driven by the Occupational Health and Safety Department together with that team. Because mind you, the MD or the CEO is in charge, but through his appointees, they are able to sit down and review and prepare that legal register.
That's clear. And someone might be wondering, is it a legal requirement to have a legal register? If I don't have a legal register in my organization, can I be punished?
I would say yes and no. But on the yes side, it is very dangerous to pretend that you don't know the law when you're caught up. So that excuse alone will put the organization in shambles. So looking at these acts, it is important that in other organizations, okay, I'll give an example. In other countries, it has been documented that it is a must, you need to have a legal register. But when you look at our Zambian existing laws, it has been mentioned, but the phrasing, the shall, has not been used.
Okay.
But I'm happy when you are taking into consideration which has to do with management system. Those who have implemented professional health and safety management system, it's a mandatory. You need to have a legal register. So, for the sake of this presentation for professionals, it is a must to have a legal register.
Interesting.
You need just to document it. You need to have it.
So, and you mentioned someone from an SME might be thinking to themselves to say, in my organization, it's still small, we don't have a legal department. Is it something that even a non-safety person can just go and read the acts and identify those that apply to the organization?
I'm happy if you look at all the existing laws in Zambia, even just giving the talk to read, you understand. They are phrased in a manner that they are straightforward. When they say there shall be a policy, you need to implement a policy. It's a straightforward thing. So even SMEs, even before they are registered in the organization, the legal register is required. They are told what they are supposed to do. Opening an account, you are told what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
So those are some of the things that should be in your legal register. Even if you say it's an occupational health and safety register, you need to document that. There must be registration from the PACLA. We need to know whether this company is fully registered.
Oh, it's part of the.
It's part of.
And probably you can even highlight more examples of what should be contained in
So
the
you
register.
need to have, if you need to have registration of the company, whether it has been registered through the.
Because it's a legal requirement that
legal
a
requirement.
business must be registered. So when we talk of safety, we are not just restricting ourselves to the
Safety, no.
Interesting. It's to
So-
comply with the laws.
The laws,
Okay.
every laws. So registration of an entity. So you know the PACRA, tax, all that you need to indicate it. Then there's this component which we usually leave out is employment code act of 2019. It is also a requirement. You need to
Comply.
get laws that are,
Applicable to
and to me, I will say everything is applicable to that. Then you come to issues to do with the waste. You are generating waste. You are
Yes.
generating waste. You need to ensure that there is issues to do with the waste, environmental management. You know, even when you are operating a small business in Lusaka, you are required to pay fire
Certificate, yes.
So issues to do with fire, it can be traced through the Factories Act. It's a requirement under the local government regulations. So you need to ensure that they are listed.
Yes.
There's issues to do with the health permit.
Yes.
They're supposed to be there. Appointment, legal appointments, like sheriffs, first aiders, fire warden, fire marshals.
First aiders.
They are supposed to be in that. Trained and appointed. And then you need to trace where they're coming from. Then when it comes to road traffic, if you're running a fleet, you need to ensure that those are patterns.
Wow.
Ozone depression. Issues to do with
Radiation.
radiation. They're supposed to be there.
Indicated.
In everything.
I see. So for those who are in construction, they should also read the Construction Act.
Construction Act, Environmental Management Act, Heritage, and there's issues to do with Heritage Act. Regulations is supposed to be there. Inquest supposed to be there. Explosives, those who are in explosives, it's supposed to be there. Workers' compensation, issues to do with compensation, supposed to be there.
And I'm sure when you have listed down things you have tabulated, like you gave an example of the Excel sheet. For example, you have a column that is indicating when to comply or when to submit a certain report. That makes it easier. Even when these regulators visit your organization, it will be easier. You can easily trace and show them that these are the things that we are complying with.
Yes.
That's very, very good. And now, when it comes to this legal register, is it something that you do only once, or do you need to review? And at what point do you create a legal register?
So when you look at what factors affect your updated legal register, there's a number of them. If there's a change in law, if there's a change in law, when you take into consideration the context of an organization, that external forces that are affecting your organization, so you can easily go back and update and amend in order to align yourself with the current and existing laws. So if there is a change in law, there is a change in the line of operations, you can easily go back to the legal register and update it so that you align yourself to the requirement. Then if you have already conducted your risk assessment, then maybe because of that, there's something that has not been captured in your legal register as proper. You need to go back and then say, okay, what laws is it going to cover? So you need to go back and update it. It can be updated when there's a change, when there's a new law, if there's a change in operations, and also if it is a global requirement. Nowadays there's climate change, so people are looking at what laws that are coming in and affecting the business operations.
Interesting. As we come to the close, someone who is just getting started for the first time, what are the steps? If I want to create a legal register, what steps should I take?
So like I indicated in my preamble, you need first to understand the context of an organization. Context of an organization, what I mean is you need to review the needs of interested parties, external and internally. Then go and look at the available laws. Then you need also to understand the line of operations. So when you are reviewing these laws, you need to take into consideration what laws are affecting or are being affected by an operation. So once you are done with the laws that are affecting or that are being affected by our operations, you list them. So in short term is you just simply need to review the existing laws in Zambia that governs occupational health and safety and the business operations. That is the first step.
Well, oh yeah, that's the first step. Is there a second step?
The second step now is you do the risk assessment. And as you are doing the risk assessment, of course, you are taking into consideration that if this has not been implemented in terms of the laws, what is the law saying in terms of this risk assessment that we are doing? So you now start realigning the business operation versus the risk assessment that you are conducting versus
the legal requirements. Yeah.
So there are situations where maybe you want to change it. Along the way, you have started updating your legal register. Then there's a change in the climate, and there's a change also in the way the government operates. So it's easier again to go back and start continuously reviewing. So others, they hope to call consultants so that they help them. But consultants, they should just be partners of the team. But what is key is the owners of the business to understand their operations. Then you go and compare it with the existing laws and see whether there's compliance or not.
Okay.
And when you are even registered in the business that I've told you, investment, they usually give, for example, development agency, they'll give you a list of requirements that you're supposed to. Sometimes it's just breakdown in communication that affects the people, even just to you. Then again, from the point of view, if you are the first start,
Yes.
where should you start from?
In fact, that was my question.
So where
If
should
you're
you
a
start?
startup or company.
So the first step, you need to understand which laws governs professional development. So look at the acts and the regulations first. Then review the clauses. What are the things that you're supposed to comply to in line with your line of action? Then after listing them now, state the compliance level. If you read majority, say reasonably or practical. So meaning the minimum requirement, understand the minimum requirement in terms of implementation. So that's it.
And then for those companies that are already in operations, and from maybe watching this interview, they discover that they don't have this legal register. Is it something that they can do?
Actually, it's something that they can do, especially that if you start with maybe the knowledge, you conduct a knowledge gap in terms of the team, in terms of the professional health and safety committee. How is the knowledge gap? So I usually encourage the safety practitioners together with the training and development of that organization to have a proper and tailored training matrix that also identifies that you're supposed to have a legal register, the procedure. There must be also a procedure of how to come up with a legal register, and this team they're supposed to be more knowledgeable in terms of those. And then after that, the training, then you actually ask them now to sit down and review the existing laws and create a template. Sit down and also find the best way of tailoring it so that it shows the compliance levels and the level of commitment. Then thereafter, I will encourage them to embed it or embroid it in their key performance indicator so that it is easily tracked.
Okay.
The spirit is there.
As we conclude, maybe your final remarks, and there could be someone who might be desiring to either get in touch with you. I know you run your own organization. Your final remarks.
So our final remarks are that safety, let's make safety, operational health and safety as a way of life. And we need to go back to the basics where we need to understand the fundamentals. And the easy way is let's first identify the legal requirements that governs operational health and safety. Thereafter, from where I'm coming from, we have an academy where we accommodate even students, prospective students. You can just need coaching and basic understanding of operational health and safety. As White Pelican Consulting and Suppliers, we are available. Then the word of encouragement is safety doesn't end. It's also fun. It's not always serious. You can make it fun, sweet, and romantic in terms of understanding it. And we encourage you to read more, understand more, and consult and interact more when it comes to operational health and safety. Let's not limit ourselves from just moving in an organization with a pen. And safety is not about ticking. Safety first, you have to be proactive. When you have statistics in terms of the numbers of injuries, accidents, go and sit down and see where did we go. Is your risk assessment working? Are the controls that you have put in place working? Have you identified the correct hazards? Are you complying to the legal requirements? How is your legal register? Is it 100% complied to? Because it starts from there.
Indeed, it starts from there. There you have it, our viewers. We have come to the end of our show today. I've picked a number of key takeaways. The first one being that legal register is a document. It can be a Word document, Excel, something that should help you to see which clauses in the acts or in the regulations that you need to comply with. And then it also shows you or the compliance level for your organization. And then it's something that you need to do as a team. The safety practitioner or safety officer, together with the legal department, if you have, you sit down and then identify the clauses that apply to you. And then we have also been educated that in the legal register encompasses even the registration of an entity. So it's not just the safety laws, but also all the laws that apply to your organization. You need to track your compliance level. And this legal register is a tool that can help you to achieve that. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, stay safe.